Hello, my name is Corey Barnett Mincer, and I'm feeling it all. Today, I'm going to be outlining my thesis. My thesis is broken down into 3 acts. Act 1, the background. Act 2, my influences. And Act 3, my projects and research studies. You can also see the status of all of them on this slide. Act 1, who I am and why I'm here. I consider myself a visual storyteller at heart. By day, I'm a marketing design specialist at the Harvard University Employees Credit Union, HUECU. When the sun goes down, my graduate work here at MassArt allows my creativity to know no bounds. My professional work and DMI interests have led me into a paradox state of mind. I am in this world, but not of this world. I travel between the realm of corporate structure and my personal values. The Amish believe that intention should trump convenience. I first learned about this metaphor in Cal Newport's book, Digital Minimalism. He urges us to be more intentional with our relationship to the connected world and devices. I use dynamic media to create interventions in the everyday. My work puts intentional restrictions on humans in the pursuit of creating authentic moments of connection. Today, the present moment is full of distractions triggered by the attention economy. We avoid time with our own thoughts and can quickly and easily fill these unwanted feelings with social media or a web shopping spree. I cultivate conversations and cross-generational friendships and communities. Wake up. Wake up from your digital daze. We are social beings. Video chat and text messages help us stay connected, but my thesis explores the void that still remains. The common threads of my thesis work is a compilation of emotions, relations, and context. My personal experiences in healing, physically and mentally, have provided me with skills of empathy and compassion. My Jewish upbringing has instilled the principle of tikkun olam, which means repair the world. Today, the phrase tikkun olam means that Jews are not only responsible for creating a model society among themselves, but are also responsible for the welfare of society at large. These threads include healing, connection, community, site specificity, surprise and delight, time-based, and nostalgia. Act 2, Contextual Research. My research begins in the woods of Walden and Henry David Thoreau and concludes with the impacts of the unprecedented global pandemic that has caused unintentional forms of isolation and solitude. The lack of in-person interaction is impacting every facet of the human condition in everyone's lives. My research has provided me with the building blocks to bridge a gap between the parallel paradoxes of empathy and understanding and isolation and hyperconnectivity. Contextual research, from pre-literate era to the hyperconnected lives we live today. The impacts of technology have enhanced our society, but the cost lay in how it will impact our future. This section covers the following areas: communication evolution, the attention economy, psychology and childhood development, here and now, and the future. The term the attention economy was first used in 1971. Today, defined by the Nielsen-Norman Group, it is digital products that are competing for users' limited attention. The modern economy increasingly revolves around the human attention span and how products can capture that attention. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. It's hard to stay present when we can escape in the palm of our hands. The undergrads I worked with as a TA, the Gen Zers, admit today they have a hard time reading long-form assignments because their attention spans have been zapped by quick hits of dopamine from TikTok and YouTube.
Sitting down and reading something too just feels like such a huge commitment Reading like a 300-page book is just scary to me now. Just like listening to an audiobook might be nice from time to time just because like you know how long it's going to take you, but it's just like there's such an unknowingness about like reading a book that I just kind of don't like.
The undergrads were honest about their connected lives and their struggles to take a break from it all. Where did our intentions go? What is gained and what is lost when you commit to less screen time?
I always tell myself, oh, like I'm going to stop using technology as much as I do, and I can do it for maybe a day or like 48 hours. On the other hand, though, when you give up technology, you're also giving up like the people it connects you to. I think like right now in COVID situation, it would be a lot harder just because you physically can't be with everybody like face to face.
Many of the undergrads understood the dangers of screen time, but it seems like they can't always commit to restricting themselves from the convenience or the tools or entertainment.
Open like Instagram and Twitter, like whenever I have just like a second, I just like open it. And sometimes I'd like close it and then immediately like reopen it because like I don't even know what to do. So I like limited like my app time on like Instagram and Twitter to like 5 minutes a day or whatever. Like even so, like I still need something to like keep me occupied. So I've just been playing like a lot of solitaire online, which I don't know is like if that's like better or worse.
That I probably spend more time on my phone than I do sleeping, which is just like mind-blowing to me, and I don't realize it until I see the numbers in front of me.
So I don't find that I'm sucked into my phone only for like social media. It's just more efficient, but then that efficiency and like the fact that you're taking it with you everywhere just inevitably like leads to you using social media all the time.
In contrast, I want to tell you about my colleague Jackie, who is the data analytics manager in my department. In 2019, she moved to Utah but continued to work remotely for HUCU. Before, we were cubemates in the office, and that allowed casual conversations, even if our job had zero overlap. We became an unlikely pair of comrades due to our proximity. Jackie has always had really well-established boundaries and intentions between work and home. When she works in the office, her cell phone remains in her drawer until lunch break. She doesn't keep her work emails or Slack on her phone. We talked about how her life has changed since moving.
I think that having those social interactions is important. And that's one of the things that I really like about the post-COVID world is like people talk to me socially on Slack before. They didn't do that before. Like people didn't talk to me socially at all, really. Like when I was working remote and I was the only one. Like there was none of that water cooler talk stuff. That happens now because everyone's in the same boat, right? I definitely noticed that when I was working remote and I didn't talk to someone, like during the conversion, like we had tons of meetings, but they weren't necessarily meetings where like, you know, you were talking to someone or you had those like 2 seconds of chit chat beforehand or whatever, or even just seeing someone like, oh my God, like having someone else on video is so much better. So much better. I understand people are resistant to it, but I'm like, it's so much better. Those were my bad days. The days that I didn't talk to someone were the days that I had a bad day.
My conversation with Jackie concluded in our new shared obsession with puzzling, which is something neither of us did before COVID. And she's using puzzles to connect with her loved ones that don't live where she does.
I have a puzzle club with my mom and my sister. I didn't really puzzle much before, but like my mom and my sister normally puzzle a lot. So I signed us all up for the subscriptions, and we're all doing the same puzzle. Cool. And then we get on like Zoom and do the puzzle together.
I told Jackie about my puzzle share program, which was going really strong in my building still. I'm finally happy to report I received feedback. A lovely token was left as a thank you, which included some chocolates and a Polaroid of the puzzle that the person in my building did. Act 3, Projects and Research Studies. All 3 of these case studies are experience and intervention design. They evoke themes of connection, whimsy, and the impacts of the attention economy and how we communicate and socialize. John Cage, Make the Call. It's clear we talk on the phone less today. God forbid we have to call in an order for pizza. There's an app for that. Chatbots are replacing customer service. When did answering your phone become a game of Russian roulette? When did everyone become so phone-phobic? One undergrad talked about her experiences with her peers.
I know so many people who, when their phone starts ringing, they like look at me and panic. It's boggling to me that people are, it's not even like shyness. The mere concept of like placing any sort of order and having that interaction is scary. Like there are people, when I was on campus at Mass Art, there were people who would go to Kennedy and be like, I'm hungry, but I'm not going to get anything because I don't want to talk to the lunch people. And it's like, you're literally depriving yourself of food. You're starving yourself because you don't want to say, can I have a sandwich with ham on it?
Now I'd like to share my video abstract for my John Cage project based on his experimental work.
Hopefully I'm not bothering you.
Love you both.
I'm not bothering you. Hopefully I'm not bothering you.
Love you both.
I'm not bothering you. Hopefully I'm not bothering you.
Makes me think of my dad. Hey there. Hi, Dad.
You're thinking of a son.
I wanted to say I love you.
Oh, well, I love you too.
Hopefully I'm not bothering you.
Love you both.
It was a great day today, Corey. It was a great day.
Love you both.
Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey.
I guess I just find it playful.
Corey. It was a great day today, Corey. That apple pie was awesome. Hey, Corey. Hopefully I'm not bothering you.
It was sad. It seemed to have this theme of almost like guilt. I guess the story I was kind of perceiving was that someone outside of, you know, the life that you're witnessing, who's, you know, feeling somewhat left out. There's definitely relationships that I have that are not, that I could do better at maintaining.
Hello?
Hey!
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm at work. I just hadn't talked to you in a while, so I was thinking about you. Thought I'd give you a call.
Corey, hey, Corey. Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey. It was a great day together. It was a great day. Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey.
Refreshing, I don't know. Good though, in the sun breeze.
Hello?
Hi, my sister. I'm calling to tell you that I love you today. I love you every day.
Hi, Corey. Hi, Corey.
I guess it makes me feel like I gotta make that call. I'll probably call my brother because I don't see him very often.
It's vacation.
Hello?
Hello? Well, I just watched a video that was supposed to evoke feelings of wanting to make a call to somebody I love, so I'm calling and I love you.
I love you too.
I'm not bothering you. Hey, Corey. Hopefully I'm not bothering you. Hopefully I'm not bothering you. Hopefully I'm not bothering you.
I like it. Made me smile. The whole like vacation, road trip, the getaway, the peaceful thing, yeah, it definitely would inspire me to call someone. I'm just going to say I love you.
I love you too.
It's so out of the blue.
I'm a dad. I know what making that call is like, and I know your hesitancy to call back, what that would be like as well. Sadness, hope for reconciliation, maybe a little bit of loneliness, certainly missing you. Like spontaneously, I'll just be thinking about mostly my daughter in Philly. I don't get to see very often. I'll call you later, and then later will be like 2 or 3 days, but you'll do it. Here's my parallel. By about Saturday, 3 o'clock in the morning, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd start thinking, oh shit, I gotta call my mother tomorrow. And the conversation was always the same. How you doing? Good. How's the food? Okay. Click.
It makes me want to call someone, and it makes me also feel like
no call is ever a bother. You always feel free to reach out. So thank you for that.
My second case study is Do Not Disturb, which is an intervention interactive tool intended to bring joy and whimsy to an unexpected place, such as the office. When the flag is raised, it means do not approach me, I'm in the zone. With the addition of a simple Arduino color dance, it's meant to bring added attention to the message. My last case study, Analog Sunday, a social intervention. On December 1st, 2019, I challenged the status quo. Analog Sunday was a monthly event held at Shay's Pub and Wine Bar in Harvard Square. Until the pandemic closed bars and restaurants, I offered 2 hours of socialization device-free to see what happens when the attention economy is removed from human interaction in a public space. Well, there goes the neighborhood. Here's to the invasion of the outdoor television and the creation of public living rooms. But I fear that the patio may never be the same if this TV stays post-COVID. It's a scene that we don't see anymore, definitely from another time, when passers-by, strangers, and the sidewalk become this communal experience that the night that Joe Biden was officially announced the winner of the presidential election. If anything was to contrast what I was trying to make, it's this, and I support it. My thesis and the intentions of it would not be what they are today if I didn't include the research that supported it. These research studies highlight the tangible world, sacred spaces, and my relationship with my father and his iPhone. Mixed Emotions, The Lost Art of Mixtapes from Analog to Digital. I believe a mixtape is a tangible, personal time capsule when music was experienced physically and was shared with the heart. Even with the advent of downloading music, there was still a physical aspect of making a mix CD. Now we live in a world of give me the aux cable or check out this playlist. There's a lot less heart that goes into the painstaking process of creating an old school mixtape. There's a lot less intention when you text message your crush a link to a Spotify playlist. Where is the love in moving digital songs from one folder to another? Summer camp, one of the few sacred spaces left untouched by connected devices. In a manufactured wilderness, summer camps in the shaping of American youth from 1890 to 1960, Abigail Van Slyck said, camps not only removed children from the dangers of the city streets on a round-the-clock basis, but they also brought them to the countryside. The countryside, since the late 19th century, was an ideal setting for childhood. Even better, their distance from the city made camps more effective than playgrounds in divorcing children from their economic role as consumers on cheap entertainment or commercial value. Most overnight camps today have strict no phone or connected devices policy. This gives space for kids to develop those important 21st century soft skills away from the stakes of school or what your parents want and who they want you to hang out with at home. My final case study, me and Michael, when technology can't always adapt to the users. My father can no longer live independently due to his ailing health. Being in a nursing home is not ideal for anyone, but with the added addition of COVID, isolation and anxiety make my reality that much more heartbreaking and cruel. I struggle with the helplessness and the heartbreak of watching my last remaining parent decline at the young age of 74. FaceTime and phone calls are the primarily means of connecting safely to my dad right now. The nursing home offers 15-minute Zoom calls with your loved one. You can book more Zoom calls than visits, but the drawback, of course, is the time limit. It's always the time limit. He really appreciates this, though, because they provide an iPad for the residents, and this allows him to talk to us hands-free and see us bigger than on his tiny little iPhone. The best thing that has happened to Michael is Goldie, who you see here. He's the closest thing to a companion I could afford for my dad. He responds to voices. When you stroke his ear, he makes cute noises. And if you hold him and stroke his back, you can feel an artificial heartbeat.